Rosa Diaz, and I am the secretary of the board. This meeting is called to order at 6:38 p.m. Tonight, we are joined by District Manager Angel Miskane, Assistant District Manager Khalid Nixon, and Community Associate Marlene Pierre. In order to conduct an efficient meeting, let's observe a few ground rules. No one may speak until granted the floor. Community Board 11 members, if you have a question or wish to make a motion, please raise your hand and wait to be recognized. You should not engage in a back and forth discussion. The chair will recognize the next person to speak. Members attending via Zoom can find the raise hand button by first clicking the participants icon to access the panel where the button is located. If you have any technical issues, please relay your difficulties to the staff in the chat. The chat should not be used to discuss or pose any questions about agenda topics. All such remarks should be made on the record. Please keep your questions and comments brief and on topic to the discussion. Members of the public. You can register to speak in the public session by completing the pre-registration form and providing your name, affiliation, and the topic of the comments. A link to the registration has been shared in the chat. The link is also accessible from the meeting agenda. Registration to the public session, we closed at 7:15 p.m. And now we have roll call. Please pay attention to your name. Jose Altamirano. Thank you. Fernando Alvarez. Fernando Alvarez, absent. Marcel Bondima. Thank you. Adem Brija. Marie Charles. Leslie Colon, absent. Carlos Diaz.
Present.
Thank you. Rosa Diaz is myself. Jessica Elliott is absent. David Giordano. Ada Giseri. Ada Giseri, absent. James Gray. John Green.
Here.
Thank you. Chancellor Greg. Pascal Hanu. Wanda Hopkins.
Present.
Thank you. Kyoka Jackson. Christina Johnson. Christina Johnson, absent. Jewel Jones. James Kemp. Thank you. Sage Mason. Malik McCullough. Malik McCullough.
Here.
Thank you. Robin Maginty. Robin Maginty, absent. Jennifer Mayer. Thank you. Jessica Morris.
My apologies. Here.
Thank you. Hayward Motum. Thank you. Neil Saurama. Beverly Pavon. Beverly Pavon. Absent. Samantha Pedreiro.
Present.
Thank you. Colleen Percy. Colleen Percy. Absent. Tanya Phelps. Thank you. Marina Phillips. Marina Phillips. Absent. Valerie Ponte.
Present.
Thank you. Asher Rodriguez. Thank you. Don Sanders.
Present.
Thank you. Xavier Santiago. Absent. Janelle Satija. Thank you. Isaac Scott. Isaac Scott. Absent. Russell Schuler. Russell Schuler. Absent. Loretta So. Thank you. Derek Stampone. Thank you. Vincent Torres. Vincent Torres. Absent. Amarie Vasquez. Thank you. Jason Villanueva.
Present.
Thank you. Candy Vives Vasquez. Candy Vives Vasquez. Absent. Nye Whitaker. Thank you. Agatha White. Thank you. Michelle Wilshire Clements.
Present.
Thank you. Jason Wu. Jason Wu. Absent. Thank you. Okay. Okay, I'm fine. Then. Okay. Okay. Okay, we have quorum, yes? Awesome, thank you so much. Okay. The agenda for tonight's meeting was distributed ahead of time by the board's office and was posted on our website's meeting calendar. If there's no objection, we will adopt the agenda as stated. Board members, if you object to adopting the agenda, you may raise your hand and wait to be recognized. Okay. Seeing no objections, the agenda for tonight's meeting is adopted. And pre-registered speakers, 1 second. Oh. We have. Okay. Oh, Carrie King. Yes, please.
Oh, thank you. Y'all can hear me? Awesome. Okay, well, y'all, it's that time of year, so you know I have to come and say hello because not this Saturday, but the Saturday after is the one and only Party on Park. Last year we had a little rain incident. The year before that we had a little rain incident. So some of you might not remember Party on Park, and it's an event that opens the spaces underneath the Park Avenue Viaduct to people exploring. And every year since we first did it, 2017, it's kind of changed its configuration because Park Avenue continues to be under construction in all different ways. This year it's going to start at 115th. So La Marqueta is right here. 115th Street will be open, closed to cars, open to people, bounce houses, free bike helmets, kids' bikes you can borrow. And then you can choose your route to go down Park Avenue one way, up Park Avenue the other way, because there's not going to be any cars. You can stop at La Marqueta for the vendors there. MTA will be there to explain what the heck they're doing to the viaduct. And then continue down, there'll be free health screenings, free flu shots. Ted Smoot is going to be in lot 2 with music and food. And then down at the southern end is going to be arts and culture and environment and skateboards and all kind of good stuff. So save the date. It's Sunday, September 28th from noon to 4 p.m. If your organization wants to be a part of it, shoot me an email, grab me before the meeting is over, because we always make space for everybody. Everybody has a Party on Park. It's a really beautiful showing of all the different aspects of East Harlem. So we hope you can be there. Flyers at the back, and then I'll pass them around.
If anyone wants to reach you, can you put like your email and phone number for everyone?
Yeah. In the back.
You can say it out loud.
Say it out loud. Okay, everybody take this down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did I say Saturday? Sunday. Thank you. Sunday. It's a Sunday afternoon stroll. And my name is Carrie King, and my email is CREY@uptowngrandcentral.org. And you can always text me at 828-713-5179.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Please raise your hand. Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
The next registered speaker is public speaker Stephanie Mercado from New York City Smoke Free at Public Health. Stephanie? Going once, Stephanie?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. Yes, my name is Stephanie Mercado Altman. I am the Community Engagement Manager here with NYC Smoke Free at Public Health Solutions. And I just wanted to approach Community Board 11 this evening just to introduce our program to the community. We are a program funded by the by the New York State Bureau of Tobacco Control. And it is our aim to promote tobacco-free norms throughout the city. So I do have a colleague of mine who's going to speak on our youth engagement programming, but for our community engagement programming, just to put it out there, we work with businesses and buildings to go smoke-free through voluntary policy adoption. So namely helping implement and pass, whether that be a vote or a decision, voluntary smoke-free protections for either in-unit buildings or for businesses to pass tobacco-free outdoors policy. So you can look us up. We are reachable via our website, which is nycsmokefree.org, or you can reach out to me via email, which is saltman@healthsolutions.org. So just wanted to put it out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any questions for Stephanie? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And next we have Jasleen Kaur. I think it's the same way.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, how are you? I don't know if you remember me, but we met at East Harlem Coalition, so I'm excited to see you there again. I serve as the Youth Engagement Manager for New York City's Smoke-Free Reality Check program. I work very closely with Stephanie for the Manhattan area, and now I also cover the area of Staten Island. Just wanted to come out here to talk a little bit about how the program is, working to protect the health of New Yorkers by reducing exposure to tobacco industry marketing. And a lot of our work is partnering with school, community groups, and local leaders like all of you here to create healthier neighborhoods for young families and people. So Reality Check is our youth-led initiative. We are present in schools throughout Manhattan and other parts of the city that are represented by the other Reality Check managers. And if we all know that vaping has become a really big issue and it's getting out of hand. And a lot of parents have reached out in terms of coming and talking to their kids' schools. So if there are any opportunities like that for us to get involved and highlight how tobacco companies are targeting youth, coming to talk to youth, I've done PTA presentations, I've done youth presentations. So my role is really just to support and guide these young leaders and ensuring that, their voices are heard at every table. So I'm excited to connect with the board. My email is Jasleen, my first name, JASLEEN, at healthsolutions.org. So feel free to reach out. And I'm happy to always hop on a call, talk more about my program and how I can be a fit to any of the community-based organizations, school, or any other setting. And thank you for your time. Have a great evening.
Awesome. Does anyone have any questions? Please raise your hand. Awesome. I think, Jasleen, if anything, we can connect you with Youth and Education Committee and the Human Services Committee, because I think there's a lot of information affecting, our community, especially our youth. Thank you. Next, we have David Hopper from Common Justice, Inc.
Yes. Hello, good afternoon, good evening. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Good evening. My name is David Hopper. I'm with Common Justice. Common Justice is an alternative to incarceration organization. But we, at this point, are moving the initiative. And we have an 8-week course that we're bringing to the community. It's to provide community members with knowledge needed to start new conversations about crime and violence, with tools to create media that changes the way people think about policing, incarceration, and the need for alternatives. We're gonna be around sometime. We just tapped into Community Board 11. Our office is actually in the Bronx, with our base being in Brooklyn, but we serve all 5 boroughs. We just wanted to come on and introduce ourselves and let you know that Common Justice is here for the people in the community. And hopefully we'll be able to network and build relationships as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any email address or phone number that you would like to share?
Yes, if it's possible, can I drop the one page, the flyer in the chat? Is that possible?
Sure.
Okay, great.
Any questions from members?
Yes. Telephone number 929. Hold on, I just got a new number. I'm sorry. 929-708-2621. And the email is D as in David, Hopper, Hopper, like grasshopper, at Common Justice, COMMON Justice, JUSTICE.org.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to put the flyer in the chat now.
Thank you. And next we have quality of life concerns. I don't believe I see a name. Toros? D Toros? Okay. There's no name, so I'm gonna skip that. Natalie Omari? Natalie Omari? Natalie, you muted. Natalie, can you hear us? Okay. We're gonna keep it moving, and now we have elected officials report. Porfirio? Wait. One second. Okay, thank you, Porfirio. You can go ahead. Oh, please, yes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back from the summer. So my name is Porfirio Figueroa. I'm the Deputy Director for the Community Affairs team at the Manhattan Borough President's Office, Mark Levine, who is proud to announce that he gave over 55 million in capital funding allocated across the borough. This includes 15 million to our cultural institutions and more than 14 million to support our public schools, over 9 million to enhance our parks and libraries, and over 10 million for vital housing and social services. 1 million, so examples were like 1 million to Gotham Park, Manhattan Arches, 2,100,000 to NYPL Seward Park Branch, that's the public library, 750,000 to the Carmen Villegas Apartments, 1 million to the Apollo Theater, 1 million to the American LGBTQ Museum and the New York Historical Society, and 1 million to the Davis Center at Harlem Mere. You could actually find all the allocations that were given at www.manhattanbp.nyc.gov and go to the budgets tab, and that will give you all the information. It's that time of the year. The Community Board Leadership Training Series is back. It is scheduled for the week of Monday, October 20th through Friday, October 24th, to provide tools, instructions, best practices for community board members and interested Manhattanites to learn more about their local government processes. The series aims to help current and new board members to increase their knowledge of EEO, COIB, and combating implicit bias. This year's also offers other topics, and some of the presentations will be on IBO, archiving and passing on institutional knowledge, emergency readiness, using topography as a tool, and navigating the HPD and DOB portals as tools, and also accessing the U.S. Census Data's Bureau system. You could also go on www.manhattanbp.gov, nyc.gov, and sign up there under the tab that says Community Boards, and then it'll say Training Series. The Manhattan Borough President is calling for the opportunity to expand and improve our ferry system, and penned an op-ed in AM New York calling for the new plan to incorporate Upper Manhattan by establishing a robust transit Hudson ferry service connecting northern New Jersey to West Harlem. We participated in over 23 back to school backpack giveaways, giving away over 2,000 backpacks. And on the first day of school, also welcomed students and families across the borough back into the school system. I have 4 announcements. I may go a little over, but they're all relevant. Upcoming events. this Friday, September 19th from 10 to 4 p.m. at John Jay College. We are doing United Together, an LGBTQ business summit in partnership with the National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce of New York, Sunnyside, Queens, and TD Bank. If you want to march with us in the African Day Parade, that will be Sunday, September the 21st. We're meeting at 12 noon on 111th Street and Adam Creighton Powell Boulevard. And we also have a Hispanic Heritage Month celebration, which will be next Thursday. That will be with a performance by dancers from Ballet Hispanico. That's Thursday, September the 25th. The doors open at 5:30. It starts at 6 p.m. and that will be at the Sugar Hill Museum, 898 St. Nicholas Avenue, New York City, 132. RSVP at our website as well. Last, we have a college fair we are hosting on October 25th at Boricua College. We can share more details in the future, but you can go to events at manhattanbp.gov for information. My information, p.figueroa@manhattanbp.nyc.gov, and the number is 212-669-8300. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Porfirio. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, Sage. Oh, do you mind, because the people on Zoom are not able to hear you, maybe you want to get up or pass the mic?
Thank you for coming, Porfirio. I want to make a plug for a budget request we've had for maybe 2 years now, which is to, in addition to whatever, Borough President Levine is advocating for in terms of ferry service expansion, for that and to include East Harlem. We have a Pier 107 on about 107. We think could accommodate ferry service. I know there's already ferry service to 9th Street. So I think it's EDC that's responsible for that. They have responded and said that they're not currently considering expanding to East Harlem. But I think they should. If it's redundant to go to 107th Street because there's already one on 90th Street, I think it'd be great to have ferry service a little bit further north, like on 116th Street or even like 125th Street in the East River.
With this like that, I always recommend taking that through committee and then obviously creating a reso and then forwarding that.
Asher, have his hand up.
Who's next?
Asher.
The college fair that you're doing, is there grad school programs included?
I think it's undergrad, but with all undergrad, you could always, go further. If you want more information, just go to the address that I gave you, or you have my email, so just write to me.
Nai.
Hi, how are you, love? My question's about the previous topic about the ferry. Is it okay to go back? Okay. So just to follow up on that, I also heard, and I know this is not part of our district, but another reason why we should support it, that the Dykeman ferry operation outside of the Hudson restaurant, I think it is going to be closing for a while for repairs. My understanding is part of the infrastructure could be reused to allow ferry service in Harlem, whether that's from 125th Street all the way in at the West Side Highway or in other places in East Harlem. So I would just like to ask for the Borough President's office to be in touch and consider how we can work with parks and the pier and the city services to make sure that we are reusing the infrastructure that's at Dykeman that can be repurposed for either side of Harlem, 125th River to River. Thank you.
I would like to, because I actually have been on all those meetings and have seen the design. That's going to take 2 years. Infrastructure needs some major work. So what's there right now really can't be used, and that's why it's being improved. It's going to take about 2 years.
I think our council member's here. Oh no, did she leave? Oh, hi, council member. I know that we'll have the time to speak to her directly when she gives her report. Can you ask your questions to Porfirio, please? Sure. So my question is just how can the city council work with the Manhattan Borough President's office to see what we can do to get the 125th Street ferry service then up and running on the west side until the east side and Dykeman can be reopened?
The answer would be the same answer that I gave here, which is put it through committee and a reso, and we'll get that going.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Thank you, Porfirio. Okay, we're gonna, next we have Samantha Lowe. Hi, good evening. My name is Samantha Lowe. I am from Councilmember Yusuf Salam's office. I am the Director of Community Engagement. I just wanted to give a brief update from our council member. The council member voted to override the mayor's veto of the vendor bill supporting legislation that expands opportunities for street vendors while also ensuring balance on Harlem streets for our small businesses and residents. The override decriminalizes street vending while still providing the ability for offenders to receive summonses. This month and next month, we have co-namings. Edward Plummer on September 20th, southwest corner of 114th Street and Adam Clayton Powell, Junior Boulevard and Bill Perkins Way on October 4th, 110th Street and Fifth Avenue, Duke Ellington Circle. Please note, October 30th is the final deadline to submit applications for new co-naming this year. Our office can help guide you through that process. Again, my name is Samantha Lowe. I am the Director of Community Engagement. We can be reached at 678-4505. That's 212. And my email is slow@council.nyc.gov. Any questions? Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Now we have Deputy Speaker Diana Ayala. Thank you.
Hey, Maggie. Good evening, everyone. I'm Councilmember Diana Ayala. Many of you know me. Some of you probably knew me as well. Happy you all here today. Let me figure out how to hold this in a way that doesn't disrupt anything. So I have a couple of announcements and just wanted to kind of have a very brief conversation with you all about a couple of things. So we have been at the City Council. One of the things that I wanted to bring up is specifically to the Housing Committee is the current investigation that the City Council is conducting as it relates to Big Apple Connect and NYCHA. I'm not sure how many of you saw, but we have over 200 NYCHA developments that have received high-speed internet service through Big Apple Connect. Unfortunately, 20 of those developments have been under surveillance, and the city did not disclose, nor did those developments know. NYCHA was asked several times whether or not it was possible for the NYPD to tap into the CCTV cameras, which actually we fund. The administration does not fund those, the city council members do. And they repeatedly said that that was not possible, and it turns out that that was not factual. It was only, we were only alerted to it when the press, I guess, was doing some background checking on some IT stuff and ran across some information that led them to do some further review. So the city council's housing committee, public housing committee, and the IT committees are going to be hosting an oversight hearing with Gil Brewer. I'm a member of that as well, and they have already submitted language to both parties, alerting them that we need to know who, what, when, and where. Why those 20 developments? Why was no one notified? And what is the extent of the surveillance at those developments? Two, I wanted to just note that we have been in conversations with the MTA regarding the 125th Street old Pathmark site regarding development. So I'm not sure if they've already come through the community board, but they did. So they want to obviously develop that corner. I wanted to clarify that even though we will be voting on that, there's no development that's gonna be happening there for at least 10 years. So I think that, you know, that's setting kind of the stage, right? So that after the work on the Second Avenue subway is complete, then they can dispose of the property and have it developed right away so that it's just not sitting there. We have spoken to the developers in the adjacent property because, you know, assume this is Lexington and Third and the 125th Street. So this is the whole Pathmark site. A little bit more than half of it belongs to a separate developer because Extel, who owned the entire lot, sold parts of it to the MTA for the Second Avenue subway. And so the part that they had left over, they sold to another developer who's planning to develop there as of right. As of right would bring them up to probably 15 stories because they have the fresh program, which allows them to go a couple of feet. Is this 15 or 17? 15. And so my concern is that if we rezone that block, normally we don't do spot zoning. So that means that we will have to do the entire block, and if we did the entire block and the other developer hasn't even broke ground, that they would try to take advantage of the height that they would be awarded through us rezoning it. So we're looking at now whether or not, I met with them and they claim that they are too far ahead in their own development process so that they have no interest in, you know, reevaluating, which is good. However, we're still trying to figure out internally whether or not we want to do, you know, separate the lots so that we're only upzoning the MTA space. God bless you. And then, you know, have those conversations so you may hear some of that. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You know, I tried to, you know, I would love to be able to hear from you guys. Also, we've been working with Union Settlement Association in terms of helping with the small businesses, and with Carrie King, obviously from Uptown Grand Central, who's the best. We're trying to create marketing plans around those businesses because you can't really see them. They're obstructed by, you know, all of the MTA's street furniture. And they did put up these little signs, but they're very small in comparison to what was there. So if you're not really looking, you're not gonna know what they are. So we're looking to make it a little bit more attractive so that, you know, they are attracting you know, folks into their individual businesses. And we're also doing something similar with La Marqueta. And we'll be working as, you know, we've been working with Carrie on 125th Street to make some changes there as well. And with the Merchants Association on 116th Street to help, you know, infuse some public dollars, you know, for cameras and garbage cans and, you know, better cleaning services. And then there were two items that came up, two committees that really, you know, kind of remind me, I have to say this is really important. There were two committees that were heard this month. One of them was on the housing committee. So there were two proposals that came up. There was one from St. Francis, Friends of the Poor. They want to develop senior housing, supportive housing on 118th Street and Third Avenue. It's literally the building that's connected to the Silverman School. It used to be an old furniture store. So they want to tear it down. They're in the process of acquiring it, you know, as we speak, and their intent is to demolish the building and then rebuild it as supportive housing with a 30%, I believe, set aside for singles that will go into the Housing Connect lottery. Now, this is what I'll say. I am the chair of the General Welfare Committee at the City Council, which means that I have oversight over a lot of this stuff. And I support it. I support supportive housing. I think that it works. I do not support, however, putting the same kind of supportive housing in the same community and continuing to oversaturate. Case in point, we had the issue with the development on 118th Street in the 25th Precinct parking lot. That development also called for a lot of supportive housing, but it's literally right across the street from Lanterns, two buildings. So it's like a little triangle of supportive housing in that community. It's too much because it's the same exact type of housing. We could do supportive housing for families of domestic violence. We could do supportive housing for young people coming out of the foster care system. We could do supportive housing, for a bunch of other groups, but we only get cited for seriously mentally ill and individuals that are suffering from substance use disorder. And I don't have anything against that. I want to be very clear. I have, members of my family. I lost my baby brother last September to an opioid overdose. He had serious mental health issues. I suffered a lot with him, trying to get him, help. And it does help. It does help families to have these services available in their local community, but we have them. We have them in our community. We don't continue to, we don't need them. And it seems like it's a really good group. But the group has no affiliation to East Harlem. The developer that they would choose has no affiliation to East Harlem. They've never done any work here in East Harlem. If many of you are walking through Third Avenue, you know that we're already having challenges on 116th, on 117th, on Lexington. It's been like pulling teeth trying to get help to, make sure that we're adequately taking care of that in the most humane way possible. And so there's no way that I'm going to support that project. And, I don't know what they're going to end up needing, but they do want a letter, of support from the community board, from my office. They're not getting one. And it isn't because I don't want supportive housing. Again, we need to build more of that, but we don't need the same type of housing, in areas, especially where we already have problems. And then Town Home Health also came in because they had an application because they wanted to build a program. So they have a small house on 117th between First and Pleasant that they wanted to turn into. It's a crisis center, but it's modeled, I believe, after the support and connect and support program that's already on 116th Street above the Chase Bank, right? So that program is intended to, if an individual suffering from mental health problems and they're being disorderly in the street, and somebody calls the police, and the police grabs that individual, normally either you will get arrested or you will end up at the hospital. So this site would act as the middle, place. So you would, instead of incarcerating them or involuntarily hospitalizing them, you will bring them to this center and they can stay there for up to 5 days. And the staff there would work with them to help them get to their next stage of recovery. And so we already have this program in the community. And it's not helping because if you pass by the Support and Connect Center, there are, there's an abundance of individuals that are sleeping right in front of it. And my question to them is, what prevents you from coming downstairs and offering those people help? And they have time and time again insisted that they can't do it because the referral has to come from the NYPD, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And so I'm not supporting that application either. And I have already spoken with the Department of Health, who also, share some of the concerns that I've raised, and some others that I can't disclose. But I just wanted to put that out there because I know sometimes when people come to I was watching the committee and I told one of these groups, I said, I support the community board's moratorium on not continuing to, oversaturate. And then I said, so when you get to the community board, they're going to eat you alive. And when they got to the community board, everybody was so nice to them that I was having a heart attack in my house watching through Zoom because I'm like, you're making me look bad because, here I am defending you. And then they get here like, oh, that's so nice. And how many jobs are there going to be? And and I'm like, it's,
I think this is why we need to have like a town hall where everyone comes and joins too. So we can hear.
I'm always game, to come. And then there was the Bodega Paradise issue that came up at the liquor license committee. So the Bodega Paradise is so there's across the street from my office on 116th and Park, there was a space that was used as a hookah bar for many years. It was very quiet. Nobody even knew because it looked like it was closed. You didn't even know they were there. So apparently they got this idea that this year they were going to turn it into a strip bar. And I heard about it walking around in the street, minding my business, and it was brought to my attention. So I couldn't get in because it was closed. I didn't know who to contact, so I waited it out. And then I saw that they started blacking out the windows. Then one day, but they were never open. So one day I see this gentleman, the most talented artist, drawing, some stuff, beautiful art in front of the establishment. And I walked over and I said, I'm Councilmember Ayala. This is my office across the street. How are you? I just wanted to, talk about like what kind of business you're bringing. Cause it says it is a bodega. Is it a bodega? Cause it's black. And, he says, well, no. I said, well, what is it? He said, what is it to you? I said, well, I'm just curious. I want to know, what you guys are doing here. He said, well, we're doing a wellness center / juice bar. I said, oh, that's interesting because it's been blackened out. You can't see in, you can't see out. And when you look in, when they open the door, like you can see the lights, and it said girls, girls, girls. And I'm like, what kind of wellness program are you providing? And so he was very offended, very disrespectful, actually got all up in my face. And it was not nice for him. But, the point is that they lied, right? They came into the community and, some of them were already there because they were already business partners for that space when it was a hookah bar. They used the liquor license that they had to continue programming there, but they completely retrofitted it. And I happened to be doing a tour with the NYPD, the 25th precinct that day. Jose Altamirano happened to be in my office. And so we went to do this little tour of 116th and whatever. And then on the way back, I shared with them that I saw somebody sent me on Instagram, they were advertising the opening on Friday of that week. And they very clearly were advertising strippers. And they had the stripper poles and everything that you would need to run that type of establishment. So I didn't say that that's what they were doing. I heard that that's what they were doing, but then they started advertising that that's what they were doing. So, I tried nicely. They didn't work. So I called every city agency that I could think of to go in there. I think Jose went in there as well. The 25th precinct went in there, Department of Buildings, and they all said the same thing. It definitely looks like this is, intended for that purpose. And I don't have anything against nightlife. If you want to go and enjoy yourself, if I want to, I have the right to do that, but I don't want it in a residential community. There's no way that I am going to support that. So I have reported, that to the state. They're taking a position on this on the 3rd of October, and they also have a lot of concerns, specifically as it relates to ties to the nightlife office and how aggressively they have been, dealing with the city agencies that were originally going into this space. I have no idea. I don't know if you heard about the nightlife office. They've had quite a number of scandals of their own. And so there's a lot going on there. So I just really implore that you really think about it and ask questions about the type of establishment that is coming into the community. They have not gotten any 311 complaints. That is absolutely true. They did not lie about that when they came, but they lied on the application. And if you look at the application now they're offering LGBTQ programming as well. I have no idea. I don't think that they know what they're doing in there. But I've had reporters reach out to my office and they have gone in there at 2 o'clock in the morning and there is most definitely stripping at that location and for money. So it's concerning to me. So it should be concerning to you as well. And then finally, and then I'll shut up. I'm leaving you guys these little announcements. Maggie has some as well, some larger ones. But as you know, the mayor proposed a charter review that is specific to housing. And 3 of the proposals would literally strip all of us of the right to inform those decisions. So right now, whenever you want to develop something, unless it's an as of right meaning that is already zoned for a 8-story building, right? So that person doesn't need to come to any of us because they can do that. So long as they're not asking the city for anything and they don't need to go up any higher, they can do whatever they want. But when that's not the case, they have to come and they have to come to the community board and say, hey, this is what I want to develop. I'm gonna need special privileges because I need to go 10 feet higher, but in exchange, I want to give you X amount of affordable housing or whatever. And then the community board will yay, nay, or whatever, they'll add or subtract. And then it goes to the borough president's office and they do the same thing. And then they come to us and then we are the final decision maker. So there's a lot of negotiating that happens in that space, right? We negotiate more affordability, we negotiate bigger units, we negotiate, you know, smaller buildings maybe, better services, whatever it is, that's our opportunity to weigh in. Now, there are council members that don't want housing, especially affordable housing in their communities. They don't want to see, you know, I mean, God forbid you build a 10-story building is a tower to them because they're not used to that. And they don't want it. And so they have historically said no. And many of us in our communities have said no as well, right, to some of these projects, but it's on a case-by-case basis. If you look at the numbers, we've actually built, you know, a whole lot of housing, all different types of AMIs. And so what I am saying with this is that we don't normally have the habit of reading the ballot when we go to vote. And so the last time that he made you know, proposals to strip away, you know, some of the council's power, they overwhelmingly won because people are accustomed to just voting straight down the line. But these three proposals are going to literally make it so that they can come into our community and develop whatever they want, whether we like it or not. And that, to me, is unacceptable. And so we need all of you to help share this information with, you know, your communities, with your neighbors. We will be mounting some sort of like, you know, awareness campaign and encouraging people to, you know, to look it through. I can't say what I want to encourage them. I can say that later, but not right now because I'm in my official capacity. But, you know, this is really, it's serious. And I want to make sure that everybody understands how serious it is. With question.
Yes, Anne-Marie?
Yes.
Yes, please do get the mic. Yes, get the mic so you can ask the question.
Okay, so thank you, Councilwoman. Two things that you mentioned, and I'm glad you mentioned it here at this meeting. First thing, the proposal, the development at 125th Street. When they came to visit us, they mentioned that the tower was gonna be as high as Taino Towers. You just said right now it's 15-story. Taino's more than 35.
Wait, can we use the mic for the response? I'm sorry. Thank you.
So assume that this is the entire lot. This part of the lot is privately owned. That's gonna be developed as of right. Right now, we haven't upzoned anything, right? So if they wanted to develop there, they can only go up as high as 15. What the MTA is asking us is to rezone it so that they can at some point go up higher, right? When Gary Burnett owned the whole site, he came to me with a crazy proposal for like 72 stories. I was like, you're crazy. You're out of your mind. Like, we're not doing that. And he's like, oh, you're gonna get a lot of affordable housing. I'm like, you're gonna get a lot more market. Like, it doesn't even out, right? Like, I'm not accelerating gentrification. Like, no, I think that we want to be, you know, like we want housing for everybody because realistically right now, everybody needs housing. The rich, the poor, and you know, it doesn't matter. Everybody needs housing. We don't have. But what I'm proposing is, so I was concerned that he was gonna develop, if I give him 40 stories, right? Which are gonna be developed in 10 years, then I was concerned that he was gonna wanna build the 40 stories because not so much because it wouldn't, because it really wouldn't be that the most horrible thing that happened to us because 125th Street and Park is upzoned, you know, pretty high on both sides. Taino Towers runs around 33 stories. So it would be kind of like comparable, but they would get that for free without any negotiating with the community. There was going to be no community, you know, give back, and they were going to end up, you know, benefiting from a lot of density. So that's why we're looking now. You know, they claim they don't want it, so we're looking at separating the lots and only upzoning the MTA lot.
And the second thing about the bodega place, thank you for letting us know, well, the new members here know what's going on because the previous members went through that last year. They came to us with, trying to get the license. They lied to us about it. They said it was a cafe in the morning and it was cafe and a restaurant at night, right? A juice bar at night. Cafe in the morning, 5 a.m., right? And then a lounge at night. So we're like, this doesn't make sense. We had a lot of questions. And then they said that it was gonna close at 4 a.m. We proposed, why don't you then close, what was it, at night, came up with a, remember night? 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the weekend, something reasonable. And they were not having it, so they did not want to hear us out. That was the first time. They just recently came last week, and I heard they couldn't pass I wasn't there, but we couldn't take a position because some new members did not know what was going on. So I'm glad that you say your part, because we're gonna talk about our part, what I just did, but thank you.
Just while we're on that topic, so we're gonna actually vote on this at executive on Thursday. I don't know who was at the meeting. It went on for a while, the discussion involving this. We put multiple motions on the floor. We don't want to turn an already long meeting into an even longer meeting. So executive, kind of like in the summer when executive can meet and take positions on liquor licenses and then they get ratified the next month. That's what the plan is here. The applicant's been made aware that they can attend that meeting and we'll have a full conversation with them because not only is it the business they're running, but they've come to the board, they lied. And as far as I'm concerned, they lied about 15 times the last meeting they were there and they kept getting caught in lies, their representative, and then just kept changing the story. I mean, lie after lie after lie. So, there has to be a conversation and there has to be something once and for all. Thank you.
Nine has a question after your response. If you have any response, Deputy Speaker.
Sorry to make you walk, council member. First of all, thank you. We talked a lot about the ballot measures and how plain language doesn't really tell you the nuance. We voted for you and we want to make sure you have a voice for us at the table. And thank you for what you said about the moratorium and holding up fair share. We want to serve those in our communities who need it, but it should be balanced across. My question was just about the African-American burial ground. I saw that there were walks over the summer that I participated in. And I was wondering if you could just give everyone an update on where it is and kind of if there's anything new that we know about it, and anything that we can do to help move the project forward.
Unfortunately, the project is stalled because of EDC, like every other project. I love them, but it's just when they put it up for proposal a couple of years ago, they didn't really get a lot of good responses. And so they decided to table it because the real estate market was just not really doing well at the time. And so what they did was that they took 2 years off so that they can continue to do excavating of the space to see if they could identify any new bones. They've been doing that as we speak. I believe right on some Saturday, we're supposed to be having some sort of ceremony just to commemorate the ending of the end of that process. So are you all familiar with the African burial ground? No? So there's an African burial ground on 126th Street and 2nd Avenue. There's an old MTA bus depot there. So under that depot, there were cemeteries in that area that were white people were buried there, African American people were buried there, and at some point they removed all of the remains of the white people that were buried there, and I guess they went to like Woodlawn and stuff like that. But they left the African Americans there, and then with time, right, or development or whatever, the bone fragments kind of ended up moving around, and then people kind of forgot about it. And so when they were doing the Willis Avenue Bridge, there were reports that they had been finding bones, and the city kept saying, "No, that's not true. We didn't find any bones." And so the Almendorf Church actually had the records that proved that used to be an African burial ground. And so since then, the depot has closed, and my predecessor, Melissa Margarito, commissioned, a group of community folks, including the church, that forced the city to go in there and do some, excavating, and they were able to find a couple of skulls and a couple of bones. And so what they did with the space is that They're going to develop it at some point. And so that that's already been rezoned that way, and then they're gonna build an African burial ground memorial site there. And the city had EDC, the Economic Development Corporation, has taken a really long time. They're the ones that have to put out the proposal and how it got approved, you know, have somebody say, hey, I want to build and this is what I would build there. But that hasn't happened. So we're hoping that after this, that it'll yield some interest. Also, you have to factor in that the conditions on 125th Street is taking us a really, really long time to get even where we are now, and it's still not the best, right? And so when we're talking about developers coming in and any interest, that also impacts, right, the interest that we're seeing or not as a result. But we're hoping that it'll happen, you know, within the next couple of years.
And just in case in the chat, Elsie wrote that it was next Saturday. Yeah. Thank you, Elsie.
Thank you, Chair. Two things. Happy to see you here. We're gonna miss you, but we know that you're gonna be around. Hopefully keep an eye out on everything. And Elsie, but she's over there, right? So two things. We have many businesses here that once they open up, then they figure out they're gonna do something else. And I was walking home from work and I ended up seeing a business on 115 and 116 and First Avenue with one of those boards where you write down the menu. And after they said, I think it was wings and whatever, pole dancing coming soon. And so I'm bringing it to our attention, and I took a picture of it and I was going to discuss it with the chair. But since you brought up the strip joint, I figured I'd bring up the pole dancing. And so I won't put out the business name until I speak to the chair of proper protocol. If I can, I don't know what the proper protocol is, but I took a picture. So just to let you know that a lot of the businesses that come here for the liquor license are seeming to want to upgrade or downgrade their business. That's the first thing. The second thing is, have we heard any more about the Victory statue that was supposed to replace on 102nd and 5th? We fought long and hard to get Victory, but yeah. The J. Marion Sims statue.
Let it go. Let it go. We had two statues that we are working with the city on. One is the Tito Puente statue, which is supposed to go across the street from Duke Ellington on 112th and 5th. That one is a lot further advanced because it started first. There's a hiccup there because the Parks Department actually owns that little space and they have concerns about the mosaic being a little bit difficult to maintain. So they're talking with the city now, but it may not happen before I leave, which I'm not happy about because they literally started talking about that when I started working for my predecessor in 2006. They had already been talking about it for several years. So it takes a long time. And then the Marion Sims statue, for those of you that everybody knows what the Marion Sims statue was. So it was on 103rd and 5th. Doctor that experimented on, African women to on gynecological exams. Yeah, it was bad. So we got rid of him. And there was a community focus group that was working on a replacement, and the Victory group one is a really beautiful angel that's going to replace it, but there was some issues with the contracting, and then the pandemic happened, and then that further delayed it. So my understanding is that it's already, the contract has been signed, they're in design. So that should be happening within hopefully the next year or two as well.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, we are gonna move on.
Thank you, guys. Please remember.
I'll get back. Yeah, I'll get back to that. Thank you. Thank you. We now. Sorry. Thank you. We now have June Soto. Do you want to also speak from Senator Claire's office?
Senator Serrano's office, yes. I'm actually covering for Oriana, who is unfortunately out today.
Oh, okay, because I was like wondering, you work for Serrano's office, but your screen says something else.
Oh, that's so
But
weird.
June, hi, June.
Hi, everyone. It's good to be back. I hope everyone enjoyed their summer. Just a quick little update. Our office has spent the majority of the summer attending family days, constituent hours, and back to school events where we gave away over 1,000 small school supplies to students throughout the district. We are still providing constituent hours as we do all throughout the year. And the next constituent hours coming up are this Thursday, September 25th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it's going to be at 1641 Madison Avenue, New York, 10029. And it's specifically at the Carter Vernon Lehman Village Older Adult Program Center. Our office can be reached Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. At 212-828-5829. My specific email address is jasoto@nysenate.gov. And if anyone has any events that they would like the senator or staff member to attend or participate in, please send that over to scheduler.serrano@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you, June. Any questions for you? Okay, beautiful. We are going to the next person. Sheena Benjamin. Sheena Benjamin, do you have a public comment? Okay. And one last time call for a public comment on quality of life. Quality of life. I would have said it if it was here, but it's not. Oh, Delia Cintron.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Diana Ayala, for being here and for, I am concerned about, along with others, neighbors, friends in the neighborhood, residents in the neighborhood, the disproportion of supportive services specific to this area. I've been here, I was born here in Metropolitan Hospital. I've been here in the neighborhood for about almost 20 years now, and the neighborhood's gotten worse. It's on point. I've had a friend, a neighbor, some guy was dressed in some costume, and he was lurched towards her. So women don't feel safe on the street. I want to age in place. I don't feel safe. I don't go out at night. The subway is a disaster. You have addicts and homeless, and 116th Street, when I was working, was fine to go back and forth to work. You can't do it now. You have people that are there, homeless, drug addicted. At 7:30 in the morning, my neighbor had posted about it. It went on X and it went to several people at, Community Board 11. This is real. I'd like to appeal to Community Board 11 specific for quality of life issues, quality of life time block, where we can all speak our minds as to what's going on in the area and why we don't feel safe. That poor woman shot in the head on Madison Avenue in her 60s. This is unbelievable. We talk about other things, but we don't talk about the elephant in the room that we're really concerned about, that concerns our welfare or whether we stay here or not. It's 119th Street and 3rd Avenue. There's a drug van there right by a school, right by the school. We talk about what we want for our kids. We want to keep that stuff away from them. We want the streets safe. We can walk down where we're not shot at. Just last night, They're, kids, teenagers, a shooting, we're always in the headlines and it's always negative. What's being done about it? We need our people in leadership positions, to step up and really clean up East Harlem. I'm really concerned about it, as we all are. I don't want to step on a needle going elsewhere. This wasn't like this, and it's gotten worse since On Point and what has been allowed to happen here. Respectfully, I say this and I implore the leadership. I really do, to really take a hold of this. Let's get together as a community, can we have a real-time block for quality of life?
Thank you, Delia. I hear your concerns. If I may, I can connect you with the Chair of Public Safety, Michelle Wilcher Clemens. Could you mind putting your email or read it out loud too? Okay. Isaac, you have your hand up? Thank you, Isaac. We have the Chair of Human Services inviting you to join the Human Services Committee. We have, right, and if you have any suggestions for us as a member of the Community Board 11, we welcome those suggestions too. Thank you, Delia. And to add to that, there's also prison community meetings that you're able to join, and we'll send you the information as well. Thank you. I repeated it just in case, Candy. And we are now moving on with public hearing. For that, we have the Chair of District Needs and Budget, Sage Mason.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sage Mason. As of about a week ago, I am now the Chair of District Needs and Budget. Thank you. Shout out to my predecessor, Jessica Elliott, who did a great job with this process last year. In addition to every forum that people have just mentioned, another forum to talk about your grievances or areas that the community can improve on is the public hearing that we're about to have right now for the district needs and budget process. Do we have like a QR code for the survey or something? Okay, so on the table over there, there is a piece of paper with a QR code. By show of hands, can I see who has already filled out the survey? Okay, so anybody whose hand is not raised, it would be great. Maybe Isaac or Marlene, can you get some of those pieces of paper with the QR code on them? Yeah, we could circulate them right now. People can fill them out right now. Okay, there's only one. Yeah. The district needs process, a great collaborative process where we submit basically everything that we think the community can improve on to the mayor's office and incorporated or can get incorporated into the city budget. Yeah. And in addition to submitting something via the survey right now, you can also stand up and come to the mic and talk about somebody else wanted it. It's hard to put things up on the screen without some advance. Yeah.
And just to remind everyone, the QR has been sent via email, has been sent in the newsletter, like it's also in the website, and I have also sent it out numerous times. So please, please, please check your emails.
Congratulations. Thank you. It's anonymous, but I can see how many board members did it because there's a box to check off for if you're a board member. And as of last week, we had probably less than 50% of board member participation. I think recently, just in the past week, we've had like another 30 something submissions, which has been pretty positive. David's holding up the clipboard with the QR code right now for anybody that needs it. Yeah, the survey is going to remain open until I think we agreed October 10th. So please, if you haven't filled it out, fill it out. The district needs and budget committee is going to meet tomorrow, discuss all of the submissions we've gotten thus far. And I've already started to prepare a draft of our statement of district needs. All of the needs that all of the committees discuss and prioritize over the next month will be incorporated into the statement of district needs that we submit to the mayor's office. And then every agency sends us back responses, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's it. We have to do the actual hearing, but I don't know if anybody wants to come up and talk. But now is an opportunity to do that if you want to. One person.
Let's try again. Sheena Benjamin. Chiana. Okay, you have your hand up. Want to come up to the mic?
Okay, thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name's Kiera Jerez Alston. I'm an East Harlem native. I know some of your faces, but I'm very excited to get to know all of them. I just started on the Youth and Education Committee this year. I want to circle back to what Ms. Cintrone said. I think that what I've noticed, I've been attending meetings, just like through Zoom calls and all of this for some time. My family has a lot of history in this neighborhood. I'm very deeply tied to it, and I feel very deeply for it. So I understand when people like Ms. Cintrone feel very strongly about where our time and energy is being allocated within this committee. I don't know all of you. I don't know how all of you roll, but I will say that as an East Harlem native, right, I've watched my community essentially be turned into a college town, and then also the degradation of the history of my community in front of my face. For example, Sunshine Playground has been completely destroyed by the Emerson Corporation, and then also by new implants to the community who insist that it become a dog park instead of just respecting the legacy of it on Cicely Tyson Road. Also, additionally, and I say this with all respect to all of you, but I just do not understand why a ferry is part of the conversation here when our children are literally at risk on so many levels. The reason why people moved to East Harlem is because it is the last bit of safety and culture in this neighborhood. I think that in every single meeting I've been to before this meeting right here, I can identify with Ms. Cintrone because I've been ignored, right? Somebody's just pushed me off to the side. Or the actual, this is another thing that I've noticed. Let's let it all out here. And this is something that I'd like to take responsibility of when I, as I become more present here, but a lot of the older generation are about to term out, and that leaves a lot of space for either people from the community to come in and really take up space and honor our community, for a bunch of people who don't know our community to come in and change it however they'd like. And we're already halfway there. And so I do want to know, back to Ms. Cintrone, I want to know what the community board's actual powers are. What is our relationship to the NYPD? What can we actually do? At the end of the day, this is a community board. We are the bridge. I think that a lot of the language we use is not accessible to people. You got to remember there's a working class here, but at the end of the day, this is East Harlem. There are first generation immigrants here, and there are also a lot of people that don't even have college degrees. So I'm wondering what is the actual dissemination of information that is accessible to everyone? How are we actually reaching out to the community? And how are we making what our responsibilities and powers are known to the community so that they even know what to ask for? Because I think it's kind of crazy to rush people through questions or be rude to them when a lot of these people don't even know what we are supposed to be doing. Thank you. Much love.
Love that. I think just in case, I do have the 25th precinct's date and time, which is tomorrow, September 17 at 6 p.m. You can also bring those concerns there because we work closely with NYPD, and it's gonna be in 120th East, 119th Street between Park Avenue and Lexington Avenue. And it's a public meeting that everyone is able to join. And to answer, as a community board, we have different type of committees that support everyone, like everyone is welcome. And we also do tabling. I table every single week. Even my weekends are dedicated to tabling and bring more awareness of what we do in the community. Thank you.
Okay, maybe if people can come up and, well, I want people to stand up and, this is like a hearing. If you can stand up. And also, I want to remind people that limited to 3 minutes. And I don't think we need to respond because it's important just for the testimony to be on the record.
Just in case I wasn't responding, I was making aware of another meeting that we have to. Go ahead.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Asher Rodriguez. I'm the chair of the Youth and Education Committee. I was born and raised in East Harlem. I pretty much lived on the same block my whole entire life. And I would just like to maybe put a little bit of a push this year for some of the youth and education stuff that are being put in the budget request. Because in recent years, I feel that it has not been necessary. Like everyone is for the youth until we get to the budget requests. I'm sorry, I just feel like speaking my mind a little bit today, but there's certain, or when we get to requests, there's certain stuff that y'all don't want to touch. Because it's like when we put in a request for some of our LGBT youth within the community, dead silence. I'm being for real. When we put in for some of the schools, it's only like when we get to the point where the board votes for like the 50 we're going to put in, I haven't seen that many, at least a push for some of the youth stuff to be put in. So a lot of our schools are breaking down. We're in this new technological era, and the schools can't handle necessarily plugging in iPad carts and stuff. So like I'll say like I've heard and I've been in a school where you plug in the iPad cart and the lights go out. So that's no way really for anyone to learn. So yeah.
Thank you.
Somebody else have testimony? David?
Hi, everybody. I'm the vice chair of the Youth and Education. And hello. I also want to echo, excuse me, Joe. I also want to echo the importance that Ash kind of raised about our community and schools in here. And unfortunately, I reached out to the superintendent and part of the CEC to address what are some of the capital needs that are in East Harlem in the schools. And while there are many, she just said Lexington Academy. And she said that we should concentrate on all the needs at Lexington. And I feel a little biased about that because I work in Lexington Academy. Asher works in Lexington Academy. Mr. Alvarez works in Lexington Academy. And I work for Children's Aid. I don't work for DOE. However, as Ash indicated, that is a problem. While we have the technology, we don't have the electricity capability to run the electricity that we really need in all the buildings. For many years, the kitchen could not get air conditions. And they only got air conditions because they put this new feeding program in that had to upgrade the electricity for the refrigerators they're using. And now they finally got air condition in the hot kitchen. But now most of the cooks are not in the hot kitchen anymore. And it's, again, what are the priorities in our schools? What are the priorities in these old 1920 buildings? If we're really fostering an environment that's supposed to be opening and learning and welcoming, we don't have it necessarily in all our buildings. And again, I do not want to push things just from PS 72, but this is a school that is in really dire need of upgrades. They did the bathrooms in our school, but not all of them. And when they did the bathrooms, the biggest ones, which was great, they did it when we had 700 kids in the school in the summer. And where we had to use literally 2 other bathrooms for boys and girls that only had 2 stalls in each of them. So you're talking about 8 stalls, 700 kids, right? And these are the upgrades that need to be done. The roof in the building at PS 72 leaks. I run DOH programs. I get fines where DOE doesn't. But again, are we allowing kids to be in unsafe conditions in a room that's paint and peeling, right? And so these are the things that we do need upgrades on. And we're going to really push for these projects in our community because they're serving our future. They are developing our future. So that's just my piece on that.
Okay, can we have the public and members were able to provide our opinions in our committee meetings?
Members are members of the public. Anybody?
I know, but right now we're doing public, so. So, can you please state your name for the record? Thank you.
Sheena Benjamin. Sheena Benjamin, first generation Northerner, a daughter of the Great Migration. And I bring to you the Reservation Corridor, a blueprint development. We call it a resurrection because Harlem has intentionally been broken down. Too often, boarded up school fronts, failing schools, unsafe housing, and open air drug markets are treated as though this was designed. Destiny, though. Our mission is simple: restore Harlem to wholeness by guaranteeing affordability, dignity, legacy, protection for Harlem families. Our vision is Harlem is supposed to be safe, where culture thrives and wealth remains in the hands of the people who live there, not siphoned away by outside developers. But my problem is, I think we don't understand why we're here, how we got here, and what we're actually fighting for. If there is genuinely a fight for the community at this point. Our kids cannot read. They cannot. 30% is on the grade level. We are in the midst of a technology revolution, and our kids can't read. Lights are going off. The schools are decrepit. They don't eat the food anymore. They rather be hungry all day. And you're defending this with a I need a. You don't respond. Listen to what the community actually needs. We forgot why we are here and what we are here for. And it's offensive. To understand why this matters, we need to look at the bigger picture and to understand again what we're fighting for. Every time African Americans come together and build wealth, our towns and our people are destroyed. Systems rise to tear it down. Harlem became the capital culture of America during the Great Migration. The birthplace of the Harlem Renaissance, proof of our brilliance. But like so many before us, Harlem was sabotaged through neglect and displacement. Today, Harlem faces a crisis. NYCHA is billions in backlog. Families are in unsafe conditions. Our children are going to school without the technology to prepare them for their future, and entire blocks sit vacant while developers sit and wait for the money to be good enough for them to invest. Meanwhile, our children are walking over needles, boarded up lots. But we're not only here to speak about crisis. We have a plan and the work has been done. We have shovel-ready projects that will restore the brownstones, launch food hubs, repair the broken storefront on 127th, activate tech labs, and turn the vacant H&M on 125th Street to be a cultural facing hub for the community. A place where you can have town halls so the community actually knows what you think the community wants. The fact that we sit here and as this is normal is crazy to me. The Second Avenue train station, I don't understand why that's more important than running water. I don't understand how you could sit here and defend. I don't know if you see what we see. I don't know if we're in two different separate worlds, but like I said, our kids cannot read. Where is the funding for the schools? Where is the funding for the food? There is no food in our neighborhoods. My question is, we come, we ask for money. We come, they say everything is everything, and let's just have a meeting about it. What happens when they say no, but our kids are still hungry? What do you say that we do to get money for funding for our communities? Because having a meeting, flyer or whatever is not getting it done. So I don't mean to get excited. I messed up my speech a little bit. I hope you could forgive me. However, it's the truth. So y'all have a good night.
Any other public member that would like to make a comment? Okay, with that, we are moving on. Public member, public member. Public members, please, anyone? Okay, we're moving on with business session. Thank you, Sage. Please come into the mic. Can you come into the mic so everyone on Zoom is able to hear it? Thank you.
I actually had a question for you. What are we to do when we're asking for funding and we're getting no? What are we supposed to do when we request budgets for the school and we request all these type of budgets? We don't get the money, the developers get the money, they do whatever they want to do, and they give us they ask to kiss. Pardon me, what do we do?
Definitely, thank you. That was a question for the city council, the deputy city council speaker, Diana Ayala, but unfortunately, she's gone, right?
You don't have no answer.
Well, guys, this is a public hearing, and we're just hearing all these comments. I'm not, like, I cannot respond to you directly, but we can definitely have a side talk if you want to. Thank you. You want to wait for me a little bit?
And Miss Benjamin, can you also, the speech that you wrote, can you email that to me? Because can you email me your speech? Cool.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
It would be great that I can have it because I'm the secretary of the board. I'm able to just put it in the minutes. Yeah, of course. Thank you. Thank you. Moving on with. Give me 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. I got you. 1 second, 1 second. Angel, we're having a public hearing. Are we able to have members? Public hearing.
That's the common refrain and accusation that the board doesn't listen. So here's an opportunity to hear from the public, right? So in my opinion, that should be their priority. In my opinion, the committee members have their opportunity at their committee meetings to have these conversations. Others may have a different opinion. I respect that, but that's my opinion.
Okay, thank you, Angel. You want to come into the mic for? I understand. Guys, 1 second. Right now, we are having a public hearing for the public only. We are committee members, chairs, that we're able to hear and also speak in our committee meetings. This is public hearing and we have to continue with business unless there's, you said point of clarification? Do you want to come up to the mic? Do you want to use the mic because no one is able to hear you over Zoom? Okay, apologies. You will go next for the point of clarification, Kyoka, and then Anne-Marie.
Here, which is. I. Point of clarification.
Please use the mic. Thank you.
Maybe for the people who do not understand what the meeting is for, that there should be someone who explains that they can come back to a committee meeting to discuss their specific topics that they want to discuss, because they obviously are coming for the purpose of trying to get a point across and a question answered, and we're leaving them with no answer, and that's not fair. And that's part of the reason why the community does not trust what we're doing, because they don't understand that we are an advisory board. She asked about budgets. This is not the correct place to ask about a budget, but if we're not telling her that, then she's going to leave feeling frustrated.
Just in case, I did that earlier and I was told not to, so. 9,
I'm just going to build upon that, which is some of our committee meetings did not have quorum. So these people who came to the committee meetings didn't get the chance to speak. And so I just think it needs to be clarified that the reasons why they were here is because some of them came to the committee meetings to address those specific issues and specific topics, and the meetings didn't have quorum. So therefore, then they were invited to come to this meeting. So just want to make sure we're being very clear when we give the community instructions on what they should do when they follow the instructions, and then it still doesn't work, that, you know, we have to reiterate and retrain. People are new here for the first time, new members, new community members. And so we just have to overly communicate what the protocols are so that they don't feel like they're leaving unheard. Thank you.
right, I definitely agree with that. And Anne-Marie, you can go next. I was trying to explain to people like where they can go, but I was told not to. Go ahead, Anne-Marie.
I just want to say, I think I have a suggestion that public hearing should be before the elected officials, because they're here and they could hear them out. We hear you, we know your frustration, because we also are community members, but we really can't do much unless the elected officials are here. And Diana was here, Porfirio was here, and other people, and they're gone and they didn't hear you. So I think guys should change public hearing to the beginning so that everyone, the elected officials, can hear them out as well. Suggestion, that's all.
Definitely agree with that. We'll see what we can do. Thank you, Sage.
Yeah, I just want to say, I take some responsibility, maybe not for giving enough context to the beginning. My understanding of a public hearing is that anybody in the public can say pretty much whatever they want. And community members can speak in their capacity as members of the public, because there are many committees that I'm not on and I don't have time to go to all the meetings. And sometimes I just want, you know, the people who are on the committee to hear what I have to say in my capacity as somebody who's just living in the community.
Thank you. And now we're moving on with business session. The adoption of the board minutes. The minutes from the last board meeting was distributed ahead of time by the board office. If there's no objection, we will adopt the minutes from the meeting. Board members, if you object to adopting the minutes, you may raise your hand and wait to be recognized. Seeing there's no objections, the minutes from the last board meetings are adopted. They will soon be available on the Community Board 11 website. The chair's report will be done next month as he is not here. District manager's report.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you that are new to attending community board meetings, those of you that are newly appointed to the community board, my name is Angel Mescain. I'm the district manager of Community Board 11. I've been here for 15 years. If I haven't seen your face, that means you haven't been around. And if I missed you, please introduce yourself. I'd be happy to meet you. Been here for a while, working on this stuff for a while, and I'm sorry, but I take slight offense. Or I'm frustrated by some of the commentary. We're here to hear the public. Every month, every full board agenda has a public session where any member of the public can register and speak to whatever issues they want to share, be it concerns or be it promoting something. Every month, no one can say otherwise. In the month of September, we specifically have a public hearing during that session on the statement of needs and budget requests, where we're hearing specific things on suggestions for how to address needs in the community via budget requests. That's every year. We do that all the time. And I understand people are newer, people may not be able to keep, may not be fully aware of everything. There's lots of stuff going on, in fairness. But we do try to promote the work of the board as often as we can. Like Rosa mentioned before, we've been tabling at events throughout the summer, you know, not as many members as I would prefer have been attending and helping to promote, helping to table, but however, but nonetheless, we have been promoting. We share literature about the board and its functions. We share literature about how to participate with the community board. And I'm not saying that to be defensive. But I'm saying that to say that we are making an effort. No one is perfect. We're trying. So please, you know, give us some grace and some patience and engage. The idea that the community board, in my opinion, the idea that the community board does not listen is hard to swallow, because then what are we doing here every month? Right? And then how do we inform the annual statement of needs? If folks have taken a moment to read the statement of needs, they'll see that the concerns that are raised time and again are reflected in that statement. They'll see that in the budget requests, the suggestions that they make or the ideas that come up to address the needs raised by the community and the board are included year after year. It's a fact. If there's an expectation that the community board can deliver on every single issue raised, you know, like that the community is dealing with, it's just not the reality, frustratingly. We don't have that power. We have a responsibility to hear and speak and advocate on behalf of the community, and that's what we do. If members of the community or if members of the board think differently, then I'd be interested in that conversation happening at committee, because what the efforts are those time and again, year after year, trying to be responsive and trying to advocate on behalf of the community to address needs. Yes, there are many needs that frustratingly seem to exacerbate year after year. Some things are stubborn in place year after year. It's not that the board is okay with it. By no stretch of the imagination is that the case. But these are things that are out of our control. Doesn't mean that we don't speak to them. Doesn't mean that we don't hope that they can be addressed. I'll give an example of just the reality of our work. Deputy Speaker Ayala earlier mentioned Bodega Paradise on 116 in Park Avenue. Now, if I get into technical stuff, explaining stuff about the issues, I see eyes glass over. However, in that case, the suspicion and the concern raised by many in the community was that that was going to be a strip club. In response to that, 2 different site visits were done. As mentioned by the Deputy Speaker, members of her staff, members of the 25th Precinct, members of this community board, myself, went and did a walkthrough of that establishment, reached out to the appropriate agencies to ask for inspections to be done. The agencies that have the power over their license and the agencies that have the power over their operating at that location. That's our responsibility. We did that. We did that. And we followed up asking for clarification from those agencies. The Department of Buildings is tasked with enforcing the rules that speak to the appropriate location of what are considered by the city per the zoning code, adult establishments, strip clubs, etc. That was reported to the Department of Buildings. A request was made for the Department of Buildings to do an inspection of that location. The Department of Buildings supposedly did an inspection, inspected everything but the topic that we were asking for. They have their fire suppression stuff in place. I didn't ask you that. I asked you about to confirm whether or not this is an adult establishment. For their own reasons, they did not respond in kind. They did not respond to the request that was made. That does not mean the community board doesn't care. Doesn't mean the community board didn't hear. The community board tried and the Department of Buildings went and did something different. So now, according to the speaker, the SLA will be conducting a hearing to vote on this application. It is true that the applicant seems to have been dishonest throughout the process in their application and how they presented it. That's heard. The committee has met multiple times trying to respond to those concerns raised. That's the fact. That's the way it happens, right? If there's this or that issue, right? There's myriad issues in the neighborhood and myriad organizations and initiatives trying to address those concerns, right? Doesn't mean everything's perfect, again, but the efforts are being made by the community board and by many community partners throughout the district. Many. Union Settlement, the Little Sisters of the Assumption, going the New York Common Pantry, going on and on and on. Ascend the Neighborhood Health. Many efforts are being made, but several problems are intractable. But doesn't mean you don't keep trying. So my frustration, I'm sorry to express it, is that efforts are being made by the body and by our partners in the community. And it seems that there is a persistent call or expression of accusation, really, of the board doesn't listen. It hasn't been my observation. I've sat in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of meetings where board members, the current crop and pre-existing, and their predecessors have sat there, listened to stuff. Now, at the committee, there are agendas that are preset. If someone just shows up and wishes to have, a 15, 20-minute presentation, they might be frustrated that they're not heard that meeting because there was already an agenda. However, they can be heard and placed on a future agenda. So that's not that they weren't heard. It's just that there was an agenda and already a predetermined set of conversations to be had that month. I think it's important for people to understand that. There is no ignoring. There's constantly listening. Now, maybe I'm the only person that has that opinion. I don't think so. Or I would really hope that that's not the case. But I've been sitting there listening. And it's reflected, like I said, in the statement of needs, and it's reflected in the work that we do and that we try to do. If we hear a complaint, as we've been hearing recently, about what seems to be a cannabis operation operating out of a van on 117th Street or 119th Street. We've heard this many times over the days. We've reached out to the corresponding agencies. It's their job to do the enforcement. We can follow up, but we can't make them do the thing. And that's not giving up. That's just the reality. We're not the police department, right? We're not the sheriff's office. All we can do is keep making that call, keep making that call, keep making that call. But when those agencies come that are responsible for addressing the concerns that we're raising, having not raised them, come before us and we're patting them on the back, we're not holding them accountable. So then the community rightfully is frustrated because their issues are not being addressed in the way that they should be. But that's a reality of the exercise. With regards to the St. Francis Friends of the Poor proposal and the townhome proposal that were presented to the Housing Committee earlier this month, there was a lot of pushback in the days after that meeting about why did we have the audacity to hear these proposals. I will say the alternative is to not hear it, not know the details of what's being proposed, if it just so happens that these projects can go forward as of right, meaning within the law, they'll just happen. And then they're there, and the community will have their opinion on it and will come saying, hey, why don't you guys do anything about this? I'm like, well, we didn't know because we didn't hear it. So my advice to the board was hear it, understand what it is, and then make your determination if it's yes or no or whatever. But at least then we've heard it. And because all of our meetings are public, the public has had an opportunity to hear it. As opposed to we heard nothing. The fact is that the majority of the projects you see in this district and any district are done within the law. In other words, as of right. When a project can proceed as of right, there's no requirement on the developer to come and speak to us. There's nothing we can do to that developer to make them come unless they require an action that requires community board involvement. Unless y'all are going to get together and protest us outside the development site, right? So if there is an opportunity for us to have a conversation or to hear a presentation, my advice is always going to be hear it and then make whatever determination you're going to make. Land where you're going to land. But to say you shouldn't hear it, I think is irresponsible. That second proposal for this crisis center, if we hadn't heard and they opened, people would have been freaking out. The fact is that shelters do not have to come to the community board. So every single shelter that's in this district, we did not have to approve. We did not even have to be notified. Okay, in my entire time here, I've been notified about 2 shelters. That's 15 years. And we have more than 2 have opened in that time. That's a reality. It's a frustration. We would prefer to know so that we can say it makes sense here, doesn't make sense there, please do this, please consider another population, etc. But we're not always told. Community boards across the city, elected officials across the city have that same frustration, right? And again, I understand the concerns of the community. To say that we don't, or to say that I don't, is just incorrect. That said, we understand and we're trying to do our best to make the recommendations, to do the advocacy to the community, to the concerned parties that we can, to see if action cannot, be brought to address these concerns. The last thing I'll say, and this is included in my report, the New York City Housing Authority has issued a request for expressions of interest to identify development partners for new construction and preservation opportunities citywide. Proposals must be for residential or mixed-use projects on privately owned land and may include new construction, rehabilitation, or completed projects with vacant units. You can learn more on the New York City Housing Authority websites on their downloads page. That's all and the community board office will be closed on the 13th of October for the Columbus Day holiday.
Thank you. And just in case if anyone didn't hear it, we are in the business session, which is only members of the Community Board 11 are able to speak. And we don't have a vice chair report. She's absent today. Do you have a treasurer? We don't have a treasurer report. Thank you so much, Derek. And the secretary report, that's me. So I wanted to welcome the new members and also the current members. And I wanted to advise everyone, as an email has already sent out numerous times, please check out the Community Board 11 website. Dates, times, minutes, agendas, locations of our meetings are there for you to see, for you to review, for you to join. And also for disclosure to all members, because we have new members here. The executive committee discusses the attendance updates every single month to make sure the members are present and engaged. There are assigned committee meetings and full board. You must join in person unless you're qualified disabled. If you have any questions with regards to your attendance, please talk to me, text me, call me, email me. I am available. Another disclosure, if a member has more than 3 absences in full board, you will be receiving an email for a due process hearing. It does not mean that you're being removed. It only means that we would like to hear what happened and how to best support you. And as per our bylaws, members may be removed for failure to comply with the attendance. And if you are unsure of your attendance, please let me know. Again, I am available. Thank you to our district manager for sending all those beautiful emails. I sincerely love it. If you cannot attend in person due to a qualifying disability, you must submit the remote participation for qualifying disability form. It gets sent out in every single email. Please, please, please do not send it 5 minutes before the meeting. We're not paying attention to the emails 5 minutes before the meeting. If you cannot attend the meeting at all, please, please notify the chair of that committee meeting, full board chairs. And if you're not able to attend, you will be absent. And lastly, excuse absences versus unexcused absences. I know this comes in every single email and everyone is thinking about it too. As per bylaws, a member may be properly excused from a meeting only for the following reasons: military services, jury duty, in the event of severe personal illnesses or severe illness to death in the family. I apologize. Number 4, an absence on board business. If you're attending a board business and you have the approval from the chair, that's also unexcused. Unexcused absences, family trips, vacation, work duties, classes, no childcare, birthday celebrations, anniversaries, parties, and you see where I'm going. If you have any questions, please give me a call, 347-885-1687. My email, secretary@cb11m.org. And that concludes my report. Thank you. Okay. And now we have committee reports and action items. For that, we have housing. Dan Bricha to the stage.
All right, good evening, everyone. I feel like a lot of what I was going to talk about has already been talked about tonight, but I will just say that, yeah, if somebody wants to come present to our committee, we're going to allow them to present. You know, we're not here to decide who gets to speak and who doesn't get to speak. We're here to listen and then make informed decisions based on that. I know that supportive housing has been a hot topic. There's two sides. It can sometimes be extreme for it, extreme against it. I think it's our job to try to sit in the middle and hear everybody and make, you know, sound decisions. I will say that there were a lot of people that were concerned that a lot of residents that were concerned that we even had that presentation. And then I took my time out one night and went with Xavier, our chair, to meet with these residents to kind of explain to them the process. There's like this misinformation that gets spread. It gets people panicking. It can divide communities because people aren't aware of actually what's going on and what we're talking about. I will say, as Angel said, we don't even know if St. Francis is coming for an ask. It's on 3rd Avenue. They haven't even bought the building yet. This isn't even going to be done till at least 2030. So, you know, we're sitting here talking about the community board, but this community board has gotten enough respect lately that 5 years before a project's going to even happen, that they may not even have an ask from us for, they're here talking. They're giving us a voice. They're giving us a seat at the table, right? And it doesn't always have to be a yes or a no. As our city council person said, she's against the project, maybe it's as it's being proposed, but that's not saying you're against supportive housing altogether. So the first meeting, and I'm happy to hear that we were very nice when they showed up, was to hear them out. My full intention is to spend the next month's meeting to have a discussion on that. The townhome health thing is a little bit more pressing, but I would like the committee to take preliminary positions before we go into the new year. I also believe that some of these topics touch on more committees than one, right? So they came to housing. But I spoke to our Health and Human Services Chair, Isaac Scott, and I've now connected him with St. Francis so he can have that discussion as well. So just so everybody's aware, we don't have to be always reactive, meaning we don't always have to take a position when someone comes for an ask. We can be proactive too. But we can do that with patience, right? So they're here 5 years before they're going to do anything. They haven't bought the building yet. So we don't have to rush in October and make a decision, and we don't have to wait till they ask us, so, and this is how we get our, let me just say this. When they come and ask to sit at the table with us, they've already given us power. You can't come and say, I want to sit with you, and then say, I don't want to hear what you have to say. So there's power in getting them to even come to the table with us. So I'm not going to bore you with all the details again, but the housing committee is on top of this. We will have discussions on all of this, and you're all welcome to come to those meetings, have your input. You're also welcome to talk to me off the record. And then I'll just get into one other thing. We did another walkthrough of Wagner houses. We had done one about 6 months ago. There might be, I don't want to get into it because I'm not supposed to say it yet, but there may or may not be at least in part from that walkthrough. We went on, 5 of us went on the walkthrough from the housing committee: Dawn Sanders, Christina Johnson, David Giordano, and Marie Charles. And some of the issues raised were the sidewalks, the roads in there. There's also just confusion, like who's responsible for the sidewalks outside of a NYCHA development. It's NYCHA. It's the same as any other landlord would have. So I've already sent an email to NYCHA. So we did this walkthrough. We've done it again. And this is the type of stuff we can do. I'm just going to go off topic for 1 minute, okay, if you don't mind. There was Maggie's Magic Garden Fest. From what I understand, they had applied as a single block festival. It's a $25 permit. They were told apparently by SAPO a couple of days beforehand that it was now a festival and it was a $5,000 permit. So they're being told this on Friday, the event's on Sunday. I get an email, I get a call from another member, said, can you see what you can do? I'm no longer the chair of licenses, but I'm the vice chair. I was chair for a long time. Got on an email thread on Friday at 2 p.m. They had their their permit for $25 in their hand by 3:30 that day. So it's just to say to you that there is power in what we do. It doesn't have to be big things. It's just our voice. Our voices are louder than we think. And we shouldn't use them here always. We can argue with each other, but we should be using them out there. And then the excused absences, that's been a big problem. And the major concern with that is people don't know if they count towards their attendance or not. I mean, it's as simple as that. And so I'm also the bylaw committee chair. So we will actually be addressing that and trying to clarify it for once and for all, so we don't have to have that discussion anymore. All right. So is licenses up next? Because then I got to stay up here. Okay. All right. That's it for housing. All right. We will go to licenses now. So I'm going to just read the basic information in to save everybody time. Number 1 was Supreme Eats Pizza and Pasta Corp. Is a new application for a wine, beer, and cider license for a restaurant at 1590 Lexington Avenue. The committee recommended that this application be denied. That's because the applicant did not show up or provide the required documents. Number 2, Back 3 Inc. doing business as Patsy's Pizzeria, renewal application for a full liquor license for a restaurant at 2287, 2289 First Avenue. Committee recommended that application be approved. There was 1 present not voting. That's me. I will also be present not voting tonight. Number 3 was Chez DeVille Inc. doing business as Sterling Affair. It's a renewal application for a restaurant located at 1216 Fifth Avenue. The committee recommended that this application be denied. Same reasons as they were for number 1. I'll now go to the street festivals. Number 4 is it's number 4, but it's number 1 for your street activities. It's Unity in the Community Street Event. It's September 17th. Location is East 119th Street between First and Pleasant Avenue. Committee recommended that application be approved. Number 5, Mount Sinai Scrub Recycling Sustainability Program. It's on September 25th, 2025. It's on Madison Avenue between East 98th and East 99th Street. Committee recommends that this application be approved. Number 6 is District 4 Welcome Back to School event. It's on September 27th. Location is East 120th Street between 3rd and Lexington Avenue. The committee recommended that application be approved. Number 7 is Back to School event. It's on September 27th. Location is East 115th Street between 3rd and Lexington Avenue. The committee recommended that that application be approved. Number 8, Party on the Park, September 28th. Location is Park Avenue between East 111th and East 115th Street. Committee recommended that application be approved. Number 9, Green Career Club Fair, October 1st. Location is East 128th Street between Madison and Park Avenue. The committee recommended that that application be denied. Again, they were not present, did not have the required documents. Number 10, Lock on the Block Fall Festival, October 4th. It's East 111th Street between 5th and Lenox Avenue. Committee recommended that that application be approved. Number 11, Mosque Heritage, Where Culture Meets the Future, October 11th. Location is East 115th between 3rd and Lexington Avenue. The committee recommended that that application be approved, not be approved. Again, missing documents, not present. And then before we get to that, just so there are 2 applications. You've heard Bodega Paradise. That will be deliberated at executive. You're all welcome to attend or come on the Zoom link. This meeting's gone really long. We just thought it'd make more sense to move it there. We do this in the summer. Sometimes there'll be liquor licenses that executive, and then they get ratified by the full board the following month. There's another one, Colina Bar and Grill Corp. They had not put their 7-day notice up in time. And it turns out those notices are more important than you think. We had a community member reach out, concerns about the establishment for noise. So we'll have a discussion on that on Thursday as well. All right. So those were the 2 that you don't see tonight.
Thank you so much. Would like to entertain a motion, please? 9, thank you. Thank you, 9. Second? Thank you, Marcel. Everyone, aye? Anyone? Oh, hold on. Person are voting at them. Anyone no? Anyone abstains? Carlos? Do you object, abstain? Which number?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Were you saying aye or were you saying no, abstain? Person are voting?
Aye.
Thank you, Carlos. And then person are voted for which one? I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, with that, environment, open space and parks. Okay, so we have one action item, which is Russell made a motion to provide a letter of support for the Central Park Conservancy's Grand Army Plaza lighting installation and Bethesda fountain restoration project. The motion was seconded by David Quinones and passed unanimously. No. Does anyone have any questions? They did a beautiful presentation, very detailed, and we did give a letter of support. Any questions? If not, motion.
Motion by Carlos to support.
Thank you.
By Jason Villanueva.
Second by Nils Alrama here in person, she won. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Aye. Any objection?
Aye.
Any abstain? Thank you, John. Anyone abstain? Okay, beautiful. Next, we have Human Services. Isaac?
Rosa, my hand raised, I'm sorry.
Yes, Malik.
Thank you, Rosa. I just wanted to speak a little bit about our park tours that we had this past weekend. This past summer, and I think it really went well. We visited a total of approximately about 25 to 30 parks this summer, and we have some good feedback, some non-feedback, and we've seen some of our fruit come to fruition as far as us advocating and certain parks already being allocated specific funds. So like Adem and his committee, we try to like be hands-on and on the ground as far as knowing our parks. And next summer, we'll conduct, community gardens, in which we switch every other year as far as community gardens and our parks. So I just wanted to speak a little bit about that. Also, while we on the parks subject, although it's not in our district, Rucker Park is a national park now, in which my father and Fred Crawford, the likes of Greg Maris and the Rucker family have worked tremendously hard for about 68 years. And now Rucker Park is nationally known, but is also recognized as a national park. And it was submitted on the floor by our Congressman Adrian Espaillat. This past 2 weeks ago, Senator Chuck Schumer came to Millbank, and he actually was there when the park, because it rained, he was there when he came to see and put out a nice little not little, but a nice I guess it's a plaque to state, like what the work that those fellow people has done. So I just wanted to bring that out and say that out loud while we was on the parks committee. But thank you for the time.
Malik. Isaac?
All right, good evening, peace and blessings, everybody. This is probably the first time I've met some of you guys. My name is Isaac Scott. I am the chair of the Human Services Committee. I've been on Community Board 11 since 2019, born and raised in Harlem. And I live in East Harlem now with my beautiful wife here. Happy that she stayed this long meeting with me. Thank you very much, wife. I missed you all over the summer because 2 reasons. One, I was definitely not coming to a community board meeting over the summer. But secondly, we were very, very busy with our open streets events. Over the summer, we closed off 115th Street between Park and Madison about 7 times. And it was it's a lot of work. Thank you, Anne-Marie. It's a lot of work. But it was a blessing to be out there. Our events focused on art and wellness. And we had a lot of different organizations come out and provide wellness activities. And, unbeknownst to me, we were even able to save a life because on the last day that we were there, a gentleman got his blood pressure done by one of the folks tabling and ended up having to leave in the ambulance. And if that, if we weren't out there in the middle of the block with those resources at that time, that gentleman might not have even made it to the end of the block. So those are the ways in which just being present is important, very, very much. So I apologize for missing y'all over the summer. I am very excited about all of the new board members. I'm also excited that, for better or for worse, that we do have a transition in a lot of the more tenured board members, and myself also will transition out in, I think, another 5 years. And I bring that up because leadership is a big thing right now. I really do appreciate Councilwoman Ayala coming up here and saying everything she said, especially about supportive housing. She helped me out a lot. I don't have to say as much. I think the importance of, enhancing our, advocacy strategies are very important. Knowing what, she made a very good point in that, knowing what types of supportive housing to advocate for in our communities. And this doesn't happen if we don't understand the needs in the community. Just is very important. One of the things I wanted to clarify was this moratorium, because you'll hear it and of it a lot. And this was a moratorium on citing, I got it. It's in front of me. It's a moratorium on siting of any new drug rehabilitation, chemical dependency, or treatment centers within Manhattan Community Board 11. Now, this document, when I took over as the chair, prior to me being chair, I voted on this document and voted in favor of it. And when I became the chair and got a lot more informed about just a lot of things, I understood that the document, I wish I had never signed on to it, because what happened is it became a tool to stigmatize people, one, and also to create a lot of discord between the community board and the organizations in the community that we want to come to the table. To the point Adem made, if we get people to the table, that's a win, because a lot of times they don't have to come. You know, and then they'll just be citing in the community. So one of the acts is that they come to the community. So we want them to come to the community, and we want them to hear us out, and we want them to make those little adjustments and hear out the complaints and hear out the frustrations, so that they can make the correct adjustments. And we want to hold them to enhanced quality service, you know, and this is important. So our advocacy, it does mean something, but I bring in the moratorium up because this is a moratorium not on social services, because a lot of times addiction services and social services are used interchangeably, and they're not. Addiction service is one form of social service, and it's important that we understand that we do not have an oversaturation of social services in this community. We do not. If we did, then we would have no issues, right? Because a lot of our issues would be handled via the different types of social services that we have. Now, we do have a cluster of drug treatment placements and things like that that are being placed, and advocacy does need to happen around that. But by no means am I going to, in my leadership with the committee, allow us to stigmatize the people who need the services in the community, or create a barrier between this board and organizations. When I took on as chair, there was organizations that would not come to the community board and talk to us. I had to work hard to build relationships back. I don't care what nobody say, but it happened. And there's people here to bear with me. It's different type of work. The Human Services Committee is not the same. It's very different. And I'm glad to hear the multidimensional advocacy coming from some people, because that is what I spoke to my committee. We don't just sit here. I know some of us only signed up to be here to point our fingers, criticize, and vote. And if that's all you wanted to do, that's fine. But some of us are actually working with people day to day, not just, I don't want to shoot at the tabling, I table too, but I'm talking about working with people, doing social service work, feeding people, dealing with people who are at the wit's end. You know, when you could see the need at the bottom level, at the grassroots level, it's different. And it's important that we're not short. I know that the meetings we have time limits, but there's a way that we are short with people. You know, we could be a lot better with how we move with the community. That's why community members don't come here. That's why they don't engage us. And that is correct. It really is. I'm right outside on 116th and Madison every day. That's where my office is at. And people do not rock with the community board. And it is not because we don't have power. It's because a lot of times it's a lot of bureaucracy. It's also a lot of misinformation. And it's a lot of arguing and fussing and fighting, you know, where we could be working together in a lot of ways to get stuff done. So in a lot of ways, my committee, I'm very, very grateful for the folks that I have on my committee. And I'm very much looking forward to sort of breaking down into some like subgroups to be able to do work in different areas, because there are a lot of different issues that the Human Services Committee does have to deal with. We're like a catchment committee. You know, we're dealing with immigration, we're dealing with Asian, we're dealing with SNAP, we're dealing with addiction services, we're dealing with domestic violence, we're dealing with a lot. And it's important that we're not focusing all of our energy on one issue when there's a plethora of issues that affect our community. So we're going to be working effectively and in that way. And I'm an organizer. I'm boots to the ground, straight Pan-African Black liberation. So I definitely am like, we could do all of the organizing folks want to do. I know we got some young organizers on the board now, and I'm with you. We do need to organize more. We do need to do more than just sit at these meetings. So Our voice to the point of them made, our voice matters. We can say something and people will move on it. You know, we have to leverage the power that we do have in this community. We are not powerless. So that was my long sermon to y'all, and I'll leave that alone. There you go.
Thank you. And next we have Asha Rodriguez with Youth and Services, Youth and Education. I was adding to it.
You allow me to. But all right. Hello again, everyone. Oh, that's very loud. Okay. Hello again, everyone. My name is Asha Rodriguez. I haven't met a lot of you yet, but I am the chair of Youth and Education. I've been on the community board since I was 16. So like, what year was that? 2021. Sorry, I've been on the community board since 2021. And our youth and education meeting this month was very, very good. We have a lot of new members on the committee and they all were very eager. So I appreciate it. I am optimistic for this year. There's not really, we spoke about our goals. We spoke about a lot of budget stuff. I suggest next month, if you would like to speak to hear more about schools and budgets, and as we still are learning to navigate that process, because there is a lot of steps in between, and we get more into that in committee. So please come. We would love to have guests. I have two announcements actually. So the district is holding a back to school event September 27th at the 007 building. So that's on 120th between 3rd and Lexington Avenue. It starts at 10. My bad. 10 to 2. That's our Vice Chair David in the back. And also I have spoken about this program before. It is not necessarily within our district, but it is open to all youth within the city. There is at the LGBT Center downtown, there is a free course that provides meals and Metro cards for the students. It provides a lot of social services, and it is called the Youth Pride course. And their first rehearsal is Thursday, September 18th. So this Thursday, it's an open rehearsal. It's at 4 p.m. at 208 West 13th Street. They will provide transportation for the kids to get back and forth. I know that they have, and if safety is a concern, they have the kids travel in cohorts back up together. So there also is a staff member who usually is like on the same train. So it is, if you want any information about that, let me know.
Thank you. And up next, we have Land Use, Landmarks, and Planning. Jason?
Mic check, you guys can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I know we're out here late. So basically it was an announcement for an RFEI that was issued by NYCHA for development partner opportunities. The New York City Housing Authority has issued a request for expressions of interest to identify development partners for new construction and preservation opportunities citywide. Proposals must be for residential and mixed-use projects on privately owned land and may include new construction, rehabilitation, or completed projects with vacant units. We bring that up, obviously, just to be in a proactive position for planning, as the Land Use Committee has continued to push for pre-ULIP opportunities and discussions with the city agencies and our developers. And I implore all board members to attend our meetings. I need not tell some of you, you go to other districts, it's like a full board meeting when you go to land use. So we would love you to come and represent and present for your committee. Brother George James, our land use consultant, provided an update and a beautiful presentation. As far as communications concerned, our board has a website. We present our presentations on Airtable. There's no secrets, right? So if you need minutes, you need information, you need data communication, you can find all of us there. And I say that because George James' presentation is up on that Airtable, or be in the minutes, or be somewhere that is going to have discussions towards the Manhattan Plan, which is really pretty much mayor-driven. He's really telling all of us to focus on the Where We Live New York City 2025. That's driven by city council law. You have a voice. Let's lock in. It just started the year in September. budget requests are going in, and then our initiatives are gonna get set forth from next month, right? Like our previous chair, Mr. Rama, has expressed, that budget is your plan for the year, and it gives you an opportunity to advocate. City council speaker today spoke about the New York City Charter revision. Something I'm real ignorant to. I'll say it out loud as, you know, a person that's not really familiar with the electoral process. I need not tell you, I probably got hustled a few times where I made votes for certain things and I wasn't aware of it. One of our newer members, Nia Whitaker, she's super focused. She was able to educate and pontificate on how to basically get that, you know, to get the simple readings of how these laws are going into effect. And as the council members expressed today, we're going to lose a level of positioning our voice. There's concerns with conflicts of interest with the mayor. I really, again, will just point you back to the video so that way you can get deeper. You can always reach out to any of us at the board office. And then we flowed right into committee discussions on goals for 2025. We visioning for development along East 125th Street. When I took the mantle as chair, we focused on pre-ULUP for land use. Then we transitioned to landmarks. All these avenues affect preservation. And then this year, one of our biggest goals for planning is planning. And it's gonna we started with having discussions about plans that happened in the past. If there's some interest in developing a new plan, for some of the outcry I'm hearing today, sounds like we need a plan. Land use is that place to have some discussions on how you would love to shape your community, and you're always welcome to attend. And then, of course, we finished it off with the most important discussion, which is the bang for our buck, our tax money, right? How our funds and monies is being utilized. I cannot express how important it is for all of us to lock in and support our new chair, Sage, because the district needs processes only as valuable as those that advocate. I was listening a lot today, and I think it gives a different perspective, even though I'm out sick, where there's opportunities to advise, right? There's opportunities to advocate, and more importantly, there's opportunities to assess, right? To listen and have that discussion. And once we come together with that plan, there is a solution, and that's the resolution process. So we were able to resolve in the committee towards our budget request that we want to implement it. That's going to get sent off to the district needs budget team. And if there's anything else that's needed, we're here for you. That's the report.
Thank you, Jason. We really heard you. Public safety and transportation, Michelle?
My vice chair.
Yes. I see you
Pascal is
now.
going
Thank
to
you.
go.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Pascal New. I'm the Vice Chair for Public Safety and Transportation. Just as Jason, I'm just going to try to make this short and sweet. We had quorum for informational purposes only. We heard from city agency partners, Detective Powers from NYPD's 25th precinct. She gave a 28-day report. Crime is down in general, but that doesn't mean that we didn't have incidents across the district. There's going to be strategic response group. Well, there was a strategic response group inquiry at hotspot locations, particularly 116th and 125th. We heard from Rafael Escano from DOT. He gave us an update on the 3rd Avenue redesign, which has been implemented with completion to be done by January 2026. We also let him know of some of our concerns, such as NYPD staff parking, concerns with street lanes not painted on Madison Avenue between East 20th and 124th Street. We expressed concerns about traffic light sequences on 2nd Avenue and light fixture concerns at East 117th between Park and Madison Avenue. But in general, we talked about the district as a whole, but we highlighted that one section. Not present, but invites will be sent to FDNY, NYPD 23rd Street, 23rd Precinct, PSA 5, MTA, and the District Attorney's Office. We did hear from a member of the public David Kupfelberg, requested the community to consider new Manhattan bus lane redesign, provided us with a draft. I believe that's going to be available online. We went over committee outreach reports throughout the summer. A number of our members did things in the community. A few of us, one person went to the Open Streets Wellness Series. I think that's Isaac's series. Reported that. Someone went to PSA 5 Silent Remembrance, the Barican Neighborhood Open Streets event, both National Night Out events, and the Giglio Street activity event. We did have a presentation for a street code naming request, Gerard Smith Way on southwest corner of East 126th Street between Lexington and Park Avenue. We did committee introductions, welcome to all the new members. And with that being said, also new members that are interested and have any feedback, please come to our committee meeting. More than welcome to hear new voices and hear the concerns. Then we had a committee discussion on goals for our new session. We have a save the date, which is a goal and also an announcement. The Public Safety Conference will be on November 15th, 2025. Doors open at 10:30 a.m. with the event beginning at 11 a.m. The location is still TBD. We also had one goal. We have 4 goals, but I'm just highlighting 2. The next one was improve partner engagement. A lot of the times we only hear from our city agencies when they want something from us. I'm not going to name the ones, but they weren't at the meeting. So one thing that we want to do is push for them to come to the meeting and to hear from us, not just when they want something from us. And lastly, we ended our meeting with district needs and budget requests for the fiscal year. It's also one thing I invite you to come to the committee meeting just so we can hear your feedback. And as Sage was mentioning, please complete the surveys. Those are very important. That's it.
Thank you so much. And next we have Jose, Economic Development and Culture. Jose, to the stage.
Rosa, I have a question. I raised my hand.
Yeah, I see you. Hold on a second.
I think it's no. Okay. Hi everyone. Jose Altamirano. I've been here as long as Angel has, which is too long. So where's David? David's still here? Me and David came on at the same time.
Closer to them.
Closer? It sounds loud. Can you? I know, right?
Yeah, long hair.
So unfortunately, we did not have quorum this month, which puts us behind significantly due to the fact that next month we have to finish district needs. As you can see, Sage is very active as the new chair of district needs. So that means that my committee now has to work offline to get this done in time to make sure that, you know, Sage doesn't punish us for this, okay? It's gonna be, so I hope that my committee and those of you that are new will answer the emails. We're gonna have to work offline to get this done. During the summer, we've been working significantly with the 116th Street Merchant Association. That's the correct, I was looking for the words. It's hard to get them organized, but it's been good. And luckily our Councilwoman Diana Yana has been amazing. She got us funding for some things that we absolutely need. 116th Street primarily has a lot of small businesses. They need certain help, but there has been a lot of violence, a lot of people coming in, stealing things, running out. You know, by the time the NYPD gets there, you know, it's been more than enough time. So we have concerns that some of the business people are getting more aggressive in regards to certain situations. So these are things that community board looks at and kind of follows up on. Welcome to all the new members. We met most of you, some of you. I'm happy to see all of you here. I hope you come to do a lot of work and have a lot of patience, because things here in the 15 years I've been here, you do see the changes, you do see the work, but it is not immediate. If you're looking for like something to happen right away, sometimes it's just not that way. Particularly, we are an advisory group. A lot of times it's outside of our scope. You know, our job is to basically flag things and keep flagging them and keep flagging them. And I have seen a lot of amazing things come out of district needs get knocked out. And when they get knocked out, it feels good because you see that work coming along. So I look forward to working with all of you. And again, for those that are the ECHO or new to the ECHO committee, You're gonna see a lot of emails from us, so thank you.
Thank you, Jose. And we have district needs and budget, Sage.
This will be quick. Yeah, district needs and budget, we're meeting tomorrow. We're gonna discuss all the work that so far has come out of committee. And hopefully, next month, we will be able to finalize, and prioritize all the requests. So please, submit the survey before October 10th. And work with your committees to make your requests good. I think we're gonna go through them. What are you guys talking about? Okay, well. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I think that's it. Cool. And maybe, specify in your requests, like be as specific as possible. And we will probably edit it, to be reviewed at executive and then ratified by the full board at the October board meeting. But the better your requests are, the less editing we will do. And I don't want any issues with people saying like, that's not what we requested. Cool.
Thank you. The executive, the chair is Xavier, is absent today, but our meeting is on Thursday. If anyone would like to join, obviously observe and I guess learn. Bylaws, Adam? And the bylaws committee will be meeting on Monday at 6:30 PM at 1664 Park Avenue. Join, be an observer, learn. Okay, and we are going to skip elections until next month. Yay. Okay, new business. We don't have any.
Rosa,
Old business, Malik.
I still have a question for a specific committee, public safety, in which I have my hand
I would
raised.
love, like, this is where we speak to the committee chair directly, but go ahead with your question.
We also can ask a question while they up there. So Pascal, my question was for Gerard Smith Way. Did y'all was there a resolution or anything that came up with that?
Thank you. We just received a presentation regarding the street code naming. We're gonna review it and then we're gonna make a decision on it next month.
Thank you.
Thank you. Old business, I don't believe we have any. Any announcements? Nye, please.
No, not to you. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to follow up on something that was said earlier in the Manhattan Borough President's Report. This Sunday is the African American Day Parade. In the past, CB11 has been very involved. I'm not sure whether or not we're doing something this year, but I just wanted to remind everybody at this time, when there's a lot of concern, I teach at NYU, and there was a threat against specifically the Black students there. So we're bringing a bunch of students up from NYU to the pre-parade breakfast. The breakfast is free and open to the public, and I don't see a lot of Community Board 11 members there. So I just wanted to make an announcement that everyone from Community Board 11 is encouraged to attend the African American Day breakfast. It's at 9 a.m. at Harlem Tavern on 116 in Frederick Douglass Boulevard. And if there are young people that you are interested in having come, please get in contact with me. The NYU Black Student Union wants to make a better connection to Harlem, river to river, and to young people in the community, talking about school opportunities, and they have a high school to college program. And I just want to make sure people know about it and can come. So again, Sunday, 9 a.m., Harlem Tavern. It is a free breakfast. All the elected officials that people are talking about will be there, and even those who are running for the fall. So just wanted to, is that a hurry up or?
No, I'm saying, agreeing with you. Go ahead.
So 9 a.m. Sunday, and then the parade follows. It starts at 12. Thank you.
Sunday, September 21st?
This Sunday, September 21st, African American Day Parade.
Where was the location?
The breakfast starts at 9 a.m. at Harlem Tavern, which is on the corner of 116th and Frederick Douglass Boulevard. And then the parade runs along Adam Clayton Powell, starting at 110 and goes all the way up. And I'm happy to share a flyer with the office so that can be shared out to the community board.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other announcements? Okay, and now we're doing roll call. Wow.
Could I ask a quick question, please?
Yes, Michelle.
Do you have to register for the breakfast?
She said that everyone is welcome, right, Nye? Everyone is welcome. She's gonna circulate her card.
Okay, so that means no.
Can I finish my sentence? She's gonna circulate her card so you can directly email her and register. I'll make sure that everyone has the information. And do you have a question? Do you mind coming into the mic? I'm sorry, but no one is gonna be able to hear you over Zoom. So if you wanna make, yeah, you can, the mic. Thank you.
It's nothing serious, but I just want to say, like, I'm at a nonprofit and we have more. It's embarrassing that we are fighting in front of the public. So how the public gonna trust us and we in here, we can't get ourselves together? There's a quorum to a board meeting to get the work done. And I've been here twice and we have to follow the rules of the quorum or work won't get done. And so we kind of sat here for a long time going in front of the public. I wouldn't trust the board if we fight amongst each other and can't follow the rules. We have to follow the rules. And I just like, we take time work done. We don't. If it's a public session, it's a public session. Hold your comments until your community meets. Just follow the rules. That's very simple so we can get the work done.
Thank you. Anne-Marie?
And also, don't be late. 6:30. The meeting starts at 6:30, not 6:45, not 7. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anne-Marie. And now we're going to do roll call. Listen for your names, please. Jose Altamirano. Jose Altamirano. Thank you. Fernando Alvarez. Thank you. Marcel Bonima. Thank you. Adem Brija. Marie Charles. Absent. Leslie Colon, absent. Carlos Diaz.
Present.
Thank you. Rosa Diaz is myself. Jessica Elliott is absent. David Giordano. Thank you. Ida Gizeri. Thank you so much. James Gray. John Green.
Out.
Thank you. Chancellor Greg. Thank you. Pascal Hanu. Thank you. Wanda Hopkins.
Present.
Thank you. Kioka Jackson. Thank you. Johnson. Absent. Jewel Jones. Thank you. James Kemp. Thank you. Sage Mason. Thank you. Malik McCullough.
Present.
Thank you. Robin McGinty. Absent. Jennifer Mayer. Thank you. Jessica Morris.
Here.
Thank you. Hayward Motun. Nilsa Orama. Thank you. Beverly Pavon. Absent. Samantha Pedreiro. Absent. Carlene Percy. Absent. Tanya Phelps. Thank you. Marina Phillips is absent. Valerie Ponte.
Present.
Thank you. Asher Rodriguez. Dawn Sanders.
Present.
Thank you. Xavier Santiago is absent. Janelle Satija. Isaac Scott. Thank you. Russell Schuller. Thank you. Loretta So. Derek Stampon. Vincent Torres. Absent Marie Vasquez. Jason Villanueva.
Present.
Thank you. Candy Vives Vasquez.
Present.
Thank you. Nye Whitaker. Thank you. Agatha White. Agatha White. Thank you. Michelle Wilcher Clement.
Present.
Thank you. Jason Wu, absent and is adjourned at 9:16. Have a good night, everyone.